This is Unhidden Mysteries, Episode 3, Who or What was Jesus? No matter your religion or perspective, one thing is certain. Jesus was perhaps the most enigmatic man to live in the past 2,000 years. For many, an alternate explanation of the life of Jesus, known to his contemporaries as Yeshua, is strictly forbidden. Much of the Western world is taught, some may say indoctrinated, into the accepted concepts that Yeshua was the Son of God, that he performed miracles, and that he ascended to heaven. Perhaps this is true. There are a few things we know for sure. The time of Jesus in Judea was a time of Roman rule and military occupation. Looking to the prevailing religious concepts of the time, and specifically to the Babylonians, whose stories became intertwined into the Christian Bible, the time before Christianity was largely polytheistic. Multiple gods were recognized. Simply stated, imagine a god of earthly creation and a god of man. Let's go back to the beginning with the spiritual, artificial insemination of Yeshua's mother, Mary, who would have been called Miriam. She is said to have been a virgin and then to have given birth in Jerusalem, under an unusual planetary alignment. To learn more about the childhood of Jesus, the so-called Gnostic Gospels that were removed from the canonical New Testament by the Romans in the 4th century must be consulted. Specifically, the Infancy Gospel of Thomas. This gospel teaches us about the raw power of Jesus in his youth. As the gospel begins, young Yeshua and other children are playing at the ford of a brook on the Holy Sabbath. Jesus is forming pools of water that are instantly purified, commanding them only with his words. A Jewish man calls his activity on the Holy Sabbath into question with his father, Joseph. As the two men approached the stream, they saw Jesus shaping soft clay into 12 sparrows. The boy simply clapped his hands and yelled "Go," animating the clay birds into life. They flew away chirping. The adults, in their amazement, leave the scene to tell the village elders. Another boy then takes a willow branch and destroys the pools Jesus had made. The future enigma then cursed the boy, and the boy died on the spot. His parents then brought his withered body to Joseph in a fit of rage. A later account has young Jesus in the street as another boy bumps into him. Insulted, the Son of God utters the words, "Thou shalt not finish thy course," and the boy falls dead in the street. Needless to say, this made Joseph's family very unpopular. Some of the villagers complained and gave Joseph an ultimatum. Let the boy bless and not curse, or leave the village. Although Jesus understood his father's wishes, he blinded the complaining villagers. According to the gospel, young Jesus did go on to change his ways. Also, according to the gospel, young Jesus was a murderer in the 1st degree. However, the gospel also teaches us that Jesus did see the error in his ways. After humbling his teacher, Zacchaeus, who in search of a disciple had in turn found a master in the young boy, Yeshua said, Now let those bear fruit that were barren, and let them see that they were blind in heart. I am come from above, that I may curse them, and call them to the things that are above, even as he commanded, which hath sent me for your sakes." When the young prophet finished speaking, the vision was restored to the blinded villagers. Thus forth they held their tongues. It was after this act of forgiveness that Jesus was playing on a roof with some other young children when a boy fell from the roof to his death. As you can imagine, all of the children fled. The parents came running to the body of their dead child, accusing Yeshua of killing him. Still on the roof, Jesus denied responsibility. He then leapt down from the roof, stood by the boy, and cried, "Arise and tell me, did I cast thee down?" The dead boy rose to his feet and said, "No, Lord, thou did not cast me down, but did raise me up." The parents praised God, and henceforth they worshipped young Yeshua. All of this happened before the age of 6. Sometime later, Jesus' father Joseph, who was accustomed to making basic yokes and plows, had been asked to make a wooden bed for a wealthy man. The father, doing his best, but short on material, had cut one of 2 pieces of wood too short to finish his job. The boy said to his father, "Lay down the 2 pieces of wood, making them even on your end." Then young Yeshua placed his hand on the shorter board, stretching the wood to the correct length. Amazed, Joseph hugged him and praised God for the gift of his son. As the boy grew, his powers remained, and he did kill another teacher that made the grave error of slapping him upon the head. When Joseph heard the news, he said to Miriam, "Let him not leave this house, for all they die that provoke him to wrath." It was after this, upon the kind words of another teacher who admitted young Yeshua was full of grace and wisdom, the boy then healed the teacher he had previously smitten. In the 17th chapter of the Infancy Gospel, a neighborhood child had fallen sick and died as his mother wept. Upon hearing this news, Yeshua raced to the family. He laid his hand on the child's chest and said, "I say unto thee, child, die not, but live, and be with thy mother." As the boy arose from the dead and laughed, Yeshua looked at the mother and said, "Take him up and give him milk, and remember me." And so it may have been. Perhaps stating the obvious, when Jesus was pleased and things were going his way, he was also quite a healer. In part 2, we will examine the lost years, acts of anarchy, and the miracles that may have changed the world in an instant. This has been Unhidden Mysteries. Please subscribe for more, and be blessed.